Hi, I'm Freya from England. Before you hear my story, like and subscribe to For Eve. I was born to super rich parents who were extremely competitive. They wanted to be the best at everything and would include me and my sister Olivia in the race to prove the world how great our family was. You're both learning to play the piano. Be ready by next week. The one who plays the best will go on a yacht while the other stays home. Got it? Yacht? It's boring. I'd rather stay home and write poems and stuff. Poems? Are you trying to give me a heart attack or something? Why can't you develop better taste like your sister? Perhaps focus a bit on playing chess? Or perhaps ballet if you want to go all artistic. Ugh, never mind. I'm sure Olivia's the one who's going to win the yacht trip anyway. Well, in my mom's eyes, I was never good at anything. My parents barely noticed me. But Olivia, oh, she was Miss Perfect and the most annoying. And for some reason, her life's mission was to always remind me that she was better than me. Come on, Mom. It wasn't like Freya ever had a chance against me. Tell me, dear sister, why are you like this? The only one I was close to was my grandma, who always encouraged me to do whatever made me happy. Grandma always wore a beautiful bracelet that jingled that her grandma gave her when she was a kid. She always told me how it brought her good luck and promised to give it to me one day. Once when I was 12, Mom and Dad wanted Olivia to participate in a chess competition, just because Dad's business rival's son was participating too. Olivia, I need you to win this one. There is no other option. We want to teach that guy a lesson. Our family is the champion of this town. I could have asked Freya, but you can't count on her. I know. Don't worry, Mom. I got it. I'll make you proud. I promise. Whatever. It wasn't like I was remotely interested in pleasing Mom anyway. Although Olivia was good at chess, the pressure to win had her going crazy. She started drinking coffee and kept reading books about chess. It was insane. One night before the competition, as I was going to my room, I saw Grandma in Olivia's room hugging her. Oh, sweetheart, don't worry. I know you'll win this one. I don't know if I will. I am so nervous. Can I have this, please? You only love Freya and never even think about me. If you'll give it to me, maybe I'll win. Please, please, please. Oh, all right. Here you go. As Grandma gave the bracelet to Olivia, I felt green with jealousy. How could Olivia get the one thing that Grandma promised to give me? She can't always win. So later that night, I sneaked into Olivia's room and threw the bracelet out of the window so no one could find it. In the morning, I woke up to find Olivia running around the house trying to find the bracelet. When she couldn't, she had to go to the competition without it. Later when she returned, I learned that she had lost. Mom and Dad were furious, but Olivia was more worried about losing Grandma's bracelet. She thought she was now jinxed because of losing it, and it made me feel terrible. I had always thought I was above all of the jealousy and competitiveness, but I wasn't. I was just like Mom, Dad, and Olivia. Maybe worse for throwing away Grandma's precious bracelet. So I told my grandma the truth, and she looked so disappointed, but she eventually forgave me and told me there was nothing more precious than me. One time when I was 15, Mom and Dad took us out to a really fancy hotel, and there I heard people clapping. It was a show, and people were coming on stage and sharing their poetry. Gathering courage, I also went to the stage and took the mic. The moment I opened my eyes, I know it's time to start the fight. I don't want to, but I have to. Can they never see that I don't want to? As I went on, people loved my poetry, and I knew I wanted to become a poet when I grew up. When I told Mom and Dad about it, they totally freaked out. But we wanted you to get into a good university and then become a doctor or something. No one is impressed by your sad poems. I didn't want to impress anyone. It was something I was doing for myself. So I just started writing and would always participate with poetry groups and perform on the streets. One night, a boy stood in the crowd, and when I was done, he clapped the loudest. Every night I performed, I saw him. One night, he stayed when the rest left. You write the most beautiful words I've ever heard. And I should know. Why's that? Actually, my parents are in the music business too, and alright, I'm sort of a singer myself. But I'd die before asking my parents to launch me. Usually, talentless rich kids who want to be singers write their own lyrics, and it's always about breakups or how awesome their life is. But your stuff, it's deep. It's got soul. Thanks a lot. So tell me, since you watched my free show every day, when am I gonna hear you sing? I do owe you a song.
but it does look like you're making some good money off your free show.
Well, I have to make my own money. I can't take anything from my parents.
Oh, I get it. Here you go.
The guy's name was John, and I knew he thought I was poor, but it was better than telling him I was from a family that hated what I did. Soon, John and I started meeting every night. We both loved sitting together as we read the verses from my notebook. It was something I could do with him forever. But then one day, he told me he was leaving.
I got accepted into this boarding school for artists in LA. They have awesome programs for musicians and poets too. Maybe you can apply next year. I'm sure your work can get you a scholarship.
And I did. I was thrilled, but when I told Mom and Dad, they just rolled their eyes.
Oh, God.
Poets make pennies. Just take up fashion designing or something else. Why do you always have to be so difficult? But Mom, it's my passion. Some passion that won't pay the bills. Fine. If you want to waste your time, just remember, we won't have anything to do with you. You will not get a dime from us. As if I needed you guys. I don't need anything from you. Freya, I have always supported you. But this is madness. As a hobby, it's fine. But going to another country for, of all things, poetry? What will people say? Daughter of the richest man in England is a street-performing poet? Oh, I didn't care what Mom had to say. But Grandma? I couldn't believe she'd taken their side. It was at that moment I just snapped. You too? Why am I surprised, huh? First, you gave the bracelet you promised me to Olivia. Now you want me to crush my dreams and be my parents' slave? I can't believe this. I have made my decision, and I'm not turning back. I had to leave school in a week, and no one was talking to me. But the night before my flight, Olivia came to my room and looked a little worried. I know I haven't been the best sister, but please don't go. Ever since I've been cursed, I can't seem to concentrate, and Mom and Dad are always angry at me. Cursed? Gosh, was she still hung up on that? Olivia, I can't live here. And you're not cursed or jinxed. I was the one who threw Grandma's bracelet away. What? How could you? Do you even know how much it affected me? The guilt of losing something so cherished by Grandma? I was just so jealous. I wanted you to lose. I didn't think it through. I am so sorry. I want to be better. Oh, shut up. You think you're so above us all. But the truth is, you're pathetic. Olivia, I knew what I did was terrible. She was right to hate me. So I packed my bags and quietly left for my new school. At the new school, John was 2 years my senior, and we went right back to where we left off. We even started dating. But in his last year, he had less and less time to spend with me. When his graduation came closer, we broke up.
I have to move back to England. Mom and Dad need me to step up and handle the business. So, I guess...
It's goodbye? I guess so. I'll really miss you, but I know you'll do great. It was so painful to see him go, so I unfollowed him from all my accounts and poured myself into my poetry. When I graduated, I was determined to make it big. I released a book of my poetry while I was waitressing at a nice restaurant. I was so happy to be in LA and even brought Grandma to live with me. I had visited once on Christmas and we patched things up, and she realized how serious I was about being a poet. One day when I was at work, a blast from the past visited the restaurant. John, what are you doing here?
Freya, this is crazy. You stayed here after graduating? I never knew that.
Yeah, I think this city suits me.
It sure does.
After my shift ended, we sat and talked for hours. I even showed him my poetry book. He loved it and told me he could talk to some producers in LA and get me into the industry.
There's a famous singer looking to open this weekend. You can perhaps open for her with your spoken word and poetry. Your words? Kid, they got soul. Here you go, an advance payment check. All the best.
Outside the producer's office, I ran up to John and hugged him tight. I'm so sorry, I got carried away.
No worries, I loved it.
Saying that, he leaned in and kissed me, and I felt my heart somersault. A few days before the show, I got the most unexpected text ever from Olivia. Mom and Dad are driving me crazy. I want to meet you, sister. I'm in LA. Let's catch up. Olivia hadn't spoken to me since our fight, and even when I went to visit my family on holidays, she ignored me. Hearing from her was great. I invited her to the restaurant the very next day. I also called John and he was on his way. I really wanted him to meet my sister. I'm so happy you're here. Me too. So tell me, how did you get that show opening gig? I saw on Instagram that you're opening for a famous singer. How the heck did you pull that off? Huh? Oh, so that's what you think of me. Duh. Mom saw the post first and was somewhat happy. And it made me so angry. I learned some time ago from a friend that you were a waitress, so I just wanted to take some pics in this tacky outfit of yours and show it to Mom. Now I'll be her favorite again. Olivia, you are pathetic. I wanted to kick Olivia out of the restaurant, but right then John walked in and seeing us both, he looked shocked.
Olivia, what are you doing here?
My heart nearly stopped. John knew Olivia? But how? Oh, so you're playing for the other side now? Dating Dad's business rival's son? That's low. He is the one who beat me in that stupid chess game.
Freya, what is this? Olivia's your sister? You're the daughter of a business tycoon and work as a waitress? And that performing on the streets thing? Were you trying to make a fool of me the entire time?
This is amazing. Sister, you are successful and very cunning. You bagged a rich boyfriend to pay your bills. And I know his parents are into the music business too. Did they pull the strings and get you that opening act? And I thought you wanted to make it big on your own. But still, I'm gonna come and see the show to laugh at how royally you'll fail. Shut up, Olivia.
Wow, I don't even know what to say. You betrayed me, Freya. Why?
John, listen to me. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you the entire truth.
That's called betrayal.
Saying that, he left. That night, I cried my heart out to Grandma. I was heartbroken. I figured John would have my opening canceled at the show, but he didn't. So I decided to quit myself and return the payment check to the producer. When I got to the venue, I went straight to the producer. I'm sorry, I can't...
She can't wait to go on, right, Freya?
John was here with Grandma. What are you doing?
Your grandma contacted me and explained everything. Freya, I realize you never lied to me. It was just me assuming things. I've known you for quite some time, and I know how hard you work. You deserve this. You deserve to do what you love.
You really think so?
I believe so, but we're in a hurry now. I saw your sister in the audience with your parents. I believe she's here to see you fail. So go on and show everyone how good you are.
And I did. When I was done, I even got a standing ovation. I was so happy, and seeing John backstage, I rushed and brought him on stage. Let's do it like old times. You and me together. My words, your voice.
Yeah, let's do it.
It went amazingly well. When the show ended, Olivia and my parents found me. Olivia's face was red, and she couldn't even look me in the eye.
I still think this whole poetry thing is a waste of time, but you do seem to be quite good at it. Your sister is such a failure, but we are proud of you.
Thanks, but I don't need your approval. I do what I love to do. Olivia, you are not a failure. You are a beautiful, independent woman. Always remember that. Stop being Mom and Dad's puppet. Do whatever you love, whatever makes you happy. Saying that, I held John's hand and walked away, as Olivia and Grandma both smiled at me and gave me a thumbs up. That was the day I felt so proud of myself for every single decision I had ever made, from cutting off people to changing my priorities.
Story time about how I hooked up with a police officer who arrested me, and now I think he's stalking me. Disclaimer, this is not my story time, it was on my Instagram. I'm just a little bit of a party girl. I'm always getting myself into trouble, and somehow I've never gotten arrested until last week. My friends and I constantly go out and get super drunk. Fortunately, when I get drunk, I tend to get a little bit aggressive. So if you're like me, do not drink. The friend group consists of 5 girls, including me. 3 of them are super chill and funny when they get drunk. The other 2 turn into raging bitches when they get drunk. So half of the group is always trying to fight somebody, and the other half is trying to calm the situation. So I'm the one that's always trying to start a fight. All of this went down last week. The friends and I are all standing at the bar, and this one girl behind me starts pushing her way through. Is literally pushing me and my 2 other friends out of the way. Of course, I instantly flew into a rage because I'm already drunk. Without saying anything, I push the girl and she falls on her ass. Her friends come at me, start punching me and pulling my hair. So I started beating them with my boots. Before I knew it, it was a huge fight between 5 people. Long story short, the police comes and they try to arrest us. Well, the cop that arrested me was really hot, so I flirted with him the whole time. Part 2 is story time about how I hooked up with a police officer who arrested me and now he's stalking me. Disclaimer, this is not my story time, it was on my Instagram. After the super hot officer starts arresting me, so I decided to start flirting with him. I mean, why not? He put me in his police car and he started driving me to the station. On the way, I started asking him if he was single. And he actually flirted back. We actually had a pretty good conversation even though I was drunk. Spent 4 hours in the police station and they ended up calling my brother to get me out. Guess what I did? I told my brother to leave me at the police station because I was going to try to hook up with the police officer. My brother got so mad at me, called me stupid, and he left. That's when I went back into the police station and I started flirting with the police officer again. At this point, it was 5 in the morning and I was really hungry. So I asked him to take me out to breakfast, and he did. We went to a cute diner. It was like a freaking movie. And then afterwards, we hooked up in his car. He did everything we could possibly imagine in his car. Here's the thing. My plan was to never see this man again. He home and he asked me for my number, but politely declined. Later that day, I go to class because, by the way, I'm in college. We saw this man driving by. So I wasn't sure, but then I realized it was him. Later on that night, I'm home and I'm about to take a shower. There's a knock on my door and I go open it. Guess who it is? Part 3 of story time about how I hooked up with the police officer who arrested me and now he's stalking me. Clemens now is starting to send me on Instagram. Hear the knock on the door and I go to open it. And it's the police officer. Mind you, I'm in a towel about to take a shower. When I opened the door, I didn't say anything. Just staring at him like, what do you want? And he said, can I come in? And I said no. He came in anyway. He sat down on the couch and just stared at me. Then he asked me why I hooked up with him if my intention was not to ever see him again. I told him that I was simply just trying to have fun with him and that was it. Then he talked for 10 minutes about how he and I would make a great couple and how much in common we have. That alone was a huge red flag. He met me when I was drunk fighting with people at a bar. I mean, how could he want a relationship with me? And he said something that sent chills down my spine. He said, you look great in baby blue. I instantly realized that I was wearing baby blue underwear. He was watching me minutes before while I was getting undressed to take a shower. He tried to kiss me, but I pulled away. I told him that if he followed me again, I would report him. He laughed and said, you think that's gonna work? And he begged to take me out on a date. I said yes to going on a date because I feared that he was gonna try to R-word me. I'm going on a date with him in a few days. What should I do? How do I prepare for this? I need to somehow make him hate me. What should I do?
Am I wrong for not showing up to my engagement after finding out my boyfriend was planning to propose? I, 28 female, have known for a while that my boyfriend, 38 male, was going to propose. We've been talking about marriage, rings, etc. for a while. I didn't know when or where, but I thought I knew the how. This is because I made it clear that I would absolutely hate a public proposal. The very idea gives me hives and makes me queasy with anxiety. It's a personal preference and comfort zone thing and not an opinion on other people's proposals. There have been a few times when I thought he was going to ask, but I was wrong each time. The night of the conflict was my birthday last week. We were going out to celebrate and he had given me my gift early to wear to dinner, since it was the first time we'd be going out for my birthday since pre-COVID. We were meant to meet at the restaurant, but my dad called before I left, asking if our big announcement tonight was baby related. And if so, he'd like to congratulate me in advance in case he didn't make it due to a travel delay. You know what? It's just like a dad thing. Leave it up to dads to ruin every surprise. A few minutes into the call, I put 2 and 2 together and immediately called my best friend, who reluctantly confirmed my fears. She hadn't wanted to spoil my boyfriend's surprise, but she also tried her best to convince him to scale it down because she knew I wouldn't like what he had planned. At this point, I was very late and my boyfriend had been texting saying that I was going to make us lose our reservation. I called and asked directly if he was planning a public proposal. He couldn't deny it, and after he told me he'd reserved the entire restaurant for 75 people, I told him this wasn't what I wanted and that I'd be happy to attend, but only if he promised not to do it in front of everyone there. He said he told some people and that word got around and they were now expecting a proposal, so he was going to do it, otherwise he would have wasted everyone's time and money coordinating and getting them down there. I said that if he insisted on doing this in a way which made me uncomfortable, I wouldn't be coming at all. I hung up and at that point stopped answering because I was hurt. He's living and we've been fighting all week because I embarrassed him in front of our friends and family by not showing up. He says that I'm making a big deal of it and we both know I would have said yes, and that I'm being ungrateful because any other woman would kill for a boyfriend who would go through the trouble to make a grand gesture. While I agree that I had every intention of saying yes when I was coming, I don't like being on the spot or being made to feel obligated to say yes because of an audience. He said he won't consider proposing again until I apologize for embarrassing him and promise to chill out about my preferences in the future. I don't feel like I should because he knew I would have preferred something more intimate and romantic. So, am I the asshole?